A man makes a disturbing discovery during a Father's Day meal in Queens. When he asked for a receipt for his order, he saw this message along with the usual meal request. It said, "Please spit in it, too." Eyewitness News reporter Stefan Kemp spoke to the customer and the manager at that popular restaurant.
On a scorching hot summer night, what's better than a cold brew? Pair it with a juicy burger, cheddar cheese, well done, toasted bread, and please spit in it too. Don't forget the mayo. Wait, spit?
I ate my burger already, and I felt like I want to throw up.
In this exclusive interview with Eyewitness News, Curtis May says it all started because his order got mixed up. So he asked his waitress for the receipt, and that's when he noticed that extra ingredient.
I asked her, I was like, why would you do this? And she couldn't explain it. She's like, well, I didn't do it. So I was like, well, who prints out the receipt? So she says, I take it up there and I print it out myself. So you're telling me you did it? So why are you lying about it? So she says, she just walked off.
The Seacliff man says he was being treated to a Father's Day dinner by his daughter and granddaughter at the Bohemian Hall and Beer Garden in Astoria when it happened. He says the evening started off pleasant.
She was very nice. She came to the table. Hi, guys. How you doing?
May says the manager fired the waitress immediately, and he got a refund, of course.
He's like, well, how can I compensate you? I was like, you can't. I mean, how can you compensate someone spitting in your food?
And you already ate this.
And I ate this already.
The manager tells Eyewitness News he had never had a problem with this employee before. Food service, he says, is a stressful job, but it was unacceptable. He adds that it's very unlikely a cook actually spat in the burger, but he understands why the customer is upset. By the way, the Bohemian Hall and Beer Garden has an A rating from the Department of Health.
Identifying.
One by one. Let's go.
You are about to experience the uncensored conversations, stimulating wit, and the thought-provoking wisdom. Bold, raw, and uncut. Right now, on the Lancescurv Show.
I'm speechless. For the first time in a long time, Lancescurv is speechless. But should I really be? And should I really be surprised? Should any one of us be surprised? At the Bohemian Hall and Beer Garden in Queens, it seems like you don't have to ask for your burger to be served with human spit on it. They give it to you. I mean, it's disgusting. I mean, I catch a fit when somebody sneezes around me and doesn't cover their mouth. I think it's very barbaric and very, very, very basic. People pass gas and they think it's all right. They talk over your food and spit in it. If the sunlight is going through, you see it flying in your food. It's no problem for them. I mean, there's no problem when it's your own spit on your own food because it's your saliva. But that's a very personal thing. And it's also a toxic biohazard. Now, why would somebody, this waitress who acted nice, right, go ahead and print this out? That means she's working in unison with somebody. This is like an undercover spit on your food ring. Was it racially driven? I believe so. I mean, why not? We're getting shot down. We're getting put in prison, even when we're innocent. Cops kill us. They get acquitted. All kinds of crazy things happen. And don't look at the history of this country. Pregnant sisters had babies cut out of them. Babies used as alligator bait. It's a very personal thing, but we leave ourselves very vulnerable to somebody else's whims. And we don't know who's cooking our food. We don't know who's preparing it when we eat in these restaurants. This is not going to be a long one. It's just so absolute. Well, what does this have to do with black empowerment? Well, I'm going to tell you this, and this is a black empowerment website and channel. Well, why does it always have to be something about black? This is our side of the planet, baby. Matter of fact, not just the side, but the whole planet. But we have to wake up and we have to start cooking our own food. Even if they don't spit in your food, you have to understand that strangers preparing your food, it's a very intimate thing. And this is what I believe. It's not just a physical thing. If that cook is pissed off at something in his life, that will transfer to the food. It's a very intimate thing. You're putting your hands on it. Even if you have gloves that are like finger condoms, there's something spiritual about food. And it's a very intimate thing. I mean, you don't think it's intimate? Well, when it comes out the other end, do you let the whole world see that? It shouldn't even be something done in public. Eating is something very personal. I don't even like to see a stranger watch me eat. If it's somebody I know, or if it's somebody that I know has a good spirit, that's something different. But with all the racist situations going on in the world that are deadly, where we end up dead, what's a little spit in a burger to have a little one-up on the person who's eating it because you just don't like them? And even for the whole world, this can happen. This has happened. And as black people, let me ask you something in this country. How many times have you consumed someone else's saliva, not in lovemaking, but eating it in a restaurant that didn't like you because of the color of your skin? You've got to wonder, as much as you eat out, as much as you've eaten out in this lifetime, for those who do, because I don't do it anymore, I would rather go to a farmer's market. I would rather go to an establishment when things are sealed. And if I'm out of town, go into that hotel room, make sure I have a room that has accommodations where I can cook my own food and take care of it like that myself. That's the only way. But how many times has your food been messed with? I know it has happened to me. I remember, I'm going to tell this story over again. I was driving up through South Carolina. I stopped at this restaurant that I later found out was owned by a Klansman. I didn't even look. And this is back in the day when I was eating meat and all this stuff, years ago, because I haven't had a piece of chicken since 2011. Well, this was many, many years ago. And I just saw the sign. I saw it was a burger joint. My radar was off that day. I was pissed at something. So I drove up, parked, went in, walked past all of the brochures and pamphlets that were near the front door, which if I looked at them, I would have turned around and walked out. I walked up to the counter. There was an old white woman, and she never looked me in the eye. And I ordered 2 burgers, some fries, and a large a drink. And they made it for me. I sat down to eat, and I was facing outside. And it was a sunny day, but there was still a reflection in the window. And I noticed the lady who took the order behind the counter and the one who prepared it back in the kitchen. They had a little cutout where you can stand there and pass the food through. They both stood there and just stared at me. And I was eating the burger, and I was just, oh, this burger was so good. And then I stood up and I said, you know what? I'm going to order another one. And I ordered another one. And I stood there while they made it, but I couldn't see into the kitchen. And the lady said, well, you can sit down. She smiled, that Colgate smile, you know, that racist Colgate smile when a person can't stand you, but they're putting on anyway. And so I sat down, which I shouldn't have done. They made the other burger. I woofed it down. On my way out, those brochures and pamphlets that I spoke about, well, it was Klan material. White Knight, Ku Klux Klan. I mean, strong stuff. It wasn't even like trying to be hidden, the Confederate flags, but straight up KKK paraphernalia, shirts, bumper stickers. I'm like, oh my God. And these are older white women, because we know the young ones in that area, especially in the South, male, female, most of them are influenced that way. So these are old, steeped in the wool, dyed in the wool, embedded with racism. Now, maybe I'm assuming, maybe they were just so nice and made the perfect burger. But I had to think, and I didn't think about that at that particular time. But as I drove up, I didn't get sick, but I thought I was at their mercy. So how many times are we at the mercy of others who don't like us because of the color of our skin? We know when we're pulled over by the police on that dark country road at night, we hope and pray that it's not the end of our life. But then again, look at what we're doing. See, racism takes many forms. Some long-term. It takes a while to get to us. It's written in the legislation. It could be something short, just immediate. But these people are out there and you don't know who they are. Stop trusting people. Stop putting yourself at the mercy of a person who could potentially be a racist cook or racist waitress, anything. You're putting this stuff in your body. It doesn't take much for somebody crazy to drop something in there, a chemical or a drug. They're shooting us down out here. They're doing all types of things, and the courts agree and acquit these cops and let these people off or smack them on the wrist. I warned you, brothers and sisters, do not eat out. Stay away from it. Because when you eat that burger, you eat that piece of chicken, you drink that drink, that could be the very last thing that you ever consume.
Make sure to check out the boldest blog at Lancescurv.com and follow Scurv on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube under Lancescurv.